So, welcome back to Infinix. Today we're going through another passage of our favorite book, which is ELS. And basically, like as you have watched previous videos, I'm going to write down the chunk from the text, like from the passage, from exercise 1, from exercise 2, and from exercise 3 as well. And then at the same time, I'm going to be writing down the definitions and examples. That will help you understand the passages way better. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, the topic is about assembly line. Assembly line is like putting like a group of people work together to make a product. And Henry Ford was actually the first person to, pioneer this idea, pioneer this thing. I can say, yeah. So, I'm gonna show you its picture. Assembly line, assembly line. So here we go. So this is gonna be our assembly line, yeah, where a group of people work together. Or this one as well. Look at this one. Like machines work in line, like there will be lines of people or lines of machines that will make something, okay? Like at the same time, while doing the same process, or one like a group of people do the same job again and again, and the next set of people do the same job. That's assembly line. And here you can see the definition as well, a series of workers or machines in a factory by which a succession of identical items is progressively assembled. Is progressively is a continuous like step by step, made. So yeah, this is assembly line. And then Henry Ford was a car builder. He was not the first to have the idea of the horseless coach. So our beautiful chunk here is gonna be he was not the first to have the idea of something. I can say to be, not the first, to plus verb, okay? I mean, definition is no needed. I mean, that's an easy sentence. I can just switch it a little bit and, use it on my way, in my style. So I can say I was actually not the first person, not the first student to get 80 plus, 80 plus. But most of my classmates thoughts I was the first one. I was the first. I can, make up in this way. I mean, that's easy. Just be sure that you are able to use such expressions in your speaking, okay? And then horseless coach. I mean, horseless coach is a bit funny way of saying automobile, horseless coach. That's gonna be our vehicles, yeah, vehicles. I mean, cars and etc. I mean, basically, in the past, cars like we didn't have any cars. People didn't have any cars, and they had only horses. And when Henry Ford built the car, horses were no needed. I mean, people just abandoned horses, I can say, yeah. And then just people started to call new cars as horseless coach. Like there were no horses, and the cars were being driven by humans. And they made up this name, horseless coach. Atsız arabaşla karavandaki ottı. It's funny that I can say it's a bit uh, funny that people called cars as horseless coats. Yeah, I think that's enough. So the next one, the Germans Daimler and Benz had invented it, but he was the first to use assembly line for mass production. Mass production is a nice phrase as well. Mass production is like producing products at a great capacity. I can say yeah. Katta miqdorda produktlarni ishlab chiqarish. Now, mass production is the most preferred option in many companies. O'sha produktlarni massiv ishlab chiqarish eng afzal ko'rilgan tanlov deyilyapti bizda. His Model T car was the first to be produced on the assembly line. Uni Model T kari o'sha assembly line grupповой ishlab chiqarishda birinchi bo'lgan ekan. The new system cut the time. Mana yaxshi fraza yana bizda. Cut the time. So like make time shorter. Yes. Mana yangi sistema vaqtni kamaytirdi. I can say, well, AI helps me cut the time. Keyin tushuntirib ketaman nimaga qanaqaligini. Okay. And then the next one. The new system cut the time in which the car was put together. In which is also a nice phrase, shu vaziyatda degan ma'no beradi. Masalan, aytsam bo'ladi. Um, I have seen a lot of places in which no. In which is a phrase that you use for something, I mean, together with something in which, I mean, let's use ChatGPT for better examples. I mean, it does a pretty good job of giving examples. In which, give examples. So, yep, we described period of time. We had a difficulty. We had a difficult year in which many businesses went bankrupt. Yeah, meaning during that year, like in which during the period or during something. He told me about an era in which technology was just beginning to develop. I can say, uh, COVID-19 was a difficult period for all of us, in which we had to stay indoors for about 6 months. Okay, that's gonna be my sentence. And then let's continue. The new system got the time in which the car was put together from 14 hours to 1 hour and 33 minutes. O'sha yangi sistema vaqt kamaytiribdi. Qaysindaki shu mashina 14 soatda shu qurilgan bo'ladigan bo'lsa, u 1 soatda 30 minut qilinadigan bo'libdi o'sha assembly line'ni foydalangan holda. Eventually, va oxirida the price of the car fell from this one. Tasqonga ham ishlatsalar bo'ladi. The price of something fell from mother to mother. Fell degan decrease degan, okay? Aytsam bo'ladi, the percentage deyman, the price of tashlayman. The percentage of people the percentage of high school high school graduates fell from 30% to 25% masalan. Okay. Shunaqa qarab tursam bo'ladi. Xo'p, keyingisi bizda. The car lacked certain luxuries. Buni lack degani not having, okay? Not having, yetishmasligi. Masalan, aytsam bo'ladi, a lot of new employees in this company lack essential skills. Bu kompaniyadagi juda ham ko'p yangi ishchilar kerakli bo'lgan, bizga juda ham zarur bo'lgan qobiliyatlarga yetishmaydi. Ularda shu kerakli bo'lgan qobiliyatlar yo'q. Shunaqa aytilyapti. And then certain luxuries, ularda ba'zi bir hashamatlar, ba'zi bir juda ham bir qimmat narsalar bo'lmagan. Lekin haligacha it could be relied on, unga ishonsa bo'lardi. It could be relied on. It could be trusted. Shunday aytsa bo'ladi, unga ishonsa bo'lardi. Yoki buni olib turib odamga nisbatan ishlatsanglar ham bo'ladi. You can say, my friends can be relied on. Do'stlarim ishonsa bo'ladi. That's why I like them, you can say. And didn't need much looking after. Unga juda ham bir e'tibor qaratish kerak emas edi. Shunaqa aytyapti. Soon, tez orada, the Model T became the people's car. Became the people's car. Became the people's car. Buni tarjimasi shu odamlarni xohlagan odamlarni favorite carga aylandi. Well, when BMW released its latest latest version. Um, it's quickly quickly became the people's car. Okay. Abbiamo iniziato bittasi bularga olib gapirib ketsalar bo'ladi o'zlari. And then the next one, after 19 years, mana qaranglar, bu yerda, after 19 years, when the Model T became obsolete and sales dropped sharply, bu yoz gap tugyapti qaranglar, o'zi qanaqa bo'lgan. Hozir tushuntiramiz sizlarga. Bu yoq ketdi bitta. Highlight qilib qo'yamiz buni. U gapni ikkinchi qismi mana. Gapni ikkinchi qismi shu. Mana ikkita chiziq o'rtasidagi narsalar bular non-defining clause bo'lar ekan bizda. Non-defining clause bu juda ham bir tekis qo'ydim man. Non-defining clause bo'lyapti bu narsa bizda. Non-definite clause degani ekstra informatsiya berishlik. O'zi bizda gap qanaqa bo'lgan? Look at this one. After 19 years, when the Model T became obsolete and sales dropped sharply, Ford developed the new Model A. Gap shunaqa bo'lgan. Endi bu ikkita buni dash, it was dash, colon, yeah, ikkita colon o'rtasidagi narsa, bular non-defining clause bo'lyapti ekan. Agar non-defining clause bilmaydigan bo'lsanglar, it's a better idea to go back and learn this grammar structure, okay? Endi qara tarjima qilamiz. 19 yildan keyin o'sha Model T obsolete bo'lgan paytda, obsolete degani old fashioned degani, okay? Old fashioned yoki out of date bo'lganda, masalan aytsam bo'ladi, Nokia became obsolete after the introduction of new phones. Nokia o'sha modadan chiqib ketdi, yangi telefonlarni kirib kelgandan keyin. Xo'p, qachonki Model T o'sha modadan chiqib ketganda va уже eskirganda va sotuvlar judayam bir pastga tushib ketgan paytda Ford yangi Model A ni ishlab chiqaribdi. Bugun gap shunaqa bo'lgan. Endi buni ko'ramiz. For other car manufacturers. Endi qaranglar, for'ni boshqa ma'nosi ham bor. Ikkinchi ma'nosi because degan ma'nosi bor bizda buni ma'nosi. Writingda asosan o'sha eski writelarda ko'p keladi. Masalan aytsam bo'ladi, I can't uh, I can't remember the information or I am tired. Shunaqa roman ishlasa bo'ladi. Endi men kontekstni uchun qo'yolmadim hozir. No ChatGPT bilan yaxshilab olsak bo'ladi. But you know, like using for in such a context is a bit difficult because that's a bit old-fashioned, you know. For because. So I can remember the information for I'm tired. Shunaqa ishlatsam bo'ladi. Bunikini ko'raylik, shunaqa example beradi. Do not worry for I am with you. O'sha literary ma'noda, formal ma'noda ishlatiladi. Bu narsani ko'rayotgan bo'lsanglar. He could not sleep for his mind was restless, you see. And then IELTS examples. Can I say IELTS examples? Can we use it in IELTS? If possible, yeah, why not? Many people prefer online education for it allows them to study at their own pace and convenience. Yeah, I mean, you know, might work. I'm not really sure. Like if that's allowed, I mean that's a really good idea. Less formal, more common. Many people prefer online education because it allows them to study at their own pace. As so, like many people prefer online education for it allows them to study at their own pace. Both are correct. The second one sounds a little more academic, but slightly old-fashioned, you see. But still, it's a better idea to know what it really is. So, because other car manufacturers, again, look at this one. Again, like this one, uh, like within non-defining clause, there is a non-defining clause. Look at this one. Because other car manufacturers were able to bring down the cost of much more attractive cars. Within two commas, again, there's a non-defining clause, which is giving extra information. So because other car manufacturers who copied Ford's assembly line system were able to bring down the cost, were able to reduce the cost of much more attractive cars. So during that time, Ford developed a new Model A. It too was the most inexpensive car on the market. O'sha bozordagi eng qimmatlangan mashina bo'lgan ekan. Today, there are hardly any factories. Today, yaxshi fraza bu ham. Today there are hardly any factories to be found. Like you can't find, you almost can't find. Tarjimasi, you almost can't find. Masalan aytsam bo'ladi, today there are hardly any factories to be found where coal, oil, and gas are not used. Okay. Hozir bu juda ham qiyin. Zavodlarni topishlik, hattoki ko'mir, yog' va gaz foydalanilmayotgan. Shunaqa faktlarni topish juda ham qiyin deyilyapti. Okay. Task 2da yaxshi foydalansa bo'ladi bu grammar. Today, there are hardly any factories to be found where Ford's assembly line is not being utilized for mass production. The word utilize means to be used on UK, okay? And you use the word utilize when you're talking about the process, okay, the procedure, but not about something simple. Not usually utilizing your phone. I mean, that's trash, okay? Try not to use vocabulary in this way. So, exercise one, let's get started. I'm gonna do the exercise as well, and then we will continue. Just a second, here we go. And yep, the first one. Four-wheeled covered vehicle pulled by horses. That's horseless coached. I mean, that should be horseless coach, yeah. And then arrangement of workers, machines where each worker completes only one part of production, then passes it along to the other for the next stage. That's assembly, assembly line. Next one. The making of something in large quantities. That's mass production. Mass production in the end after a time. That is eventually, yeah, we saw it probably. Eventually, yes. Next one. Not have, without, lacked, yes. No longer used, out of date, that's obsolete. And then quickly to a great degree, that was sharply, dropped sharply, yes. And then person or company that makes things in factories in large quantities. Manufacturers, manufacturers make use of. It basically is utilize. Utilize. Done. We are done with exercise one, and let's now proceed to the exercise two. Oh, I cannot really, use it again. I'm gonna have to, clear them all. Clear all drawings. Now let's proceed. Because I'm using, Zoom's whiteboard and it's not really working properly. So that was from the passage. Now let's go through the exercise as well. Let me add some more rows. So let's get started. Ford's assembly line system was invented by Germans Daimler and Benz. Was reliable and didn't need much maintenance. Bizda voke bor edi boy, and did not need much looking after. Much looking after. O'shanga synonym did not need much maintenance. Okay, unga uni qarab turishlik kerak bo'lmagan. O'zi qolib ketavergan, o'zini o'zi eplagan degan ma'nosi bor. Maintenance, yes, this one. So, is used in almost every factory today. Deyarli har bir factoryda foydalanadi hozir. Became obsolete after 19 years. 19 yildan keyin kerakmas bo'lib qoldi. Could put a car together in 12 hours and 20 minutes. Hop, bizda bu yerda hammasi oson. A chiqib ketdi. Birinchi buni German Daimler chiqargan, keyin Benz foydalangan. Lekin buni o'zi foydalanmagan. Benz birinchi bo'lib foydalangan. Keyingisi was reliable, ishonsa bo'lardi. Va unga uncha ko'p qarash kerak bo'lmagan. Bu faqat moshinaga nisbatan aytildi. Moral T bo'yicha aytildi. Didn't need much looking after. Bizda A bilan B javob bo'lolmaydi. C javob bo'ladi. Is used almost in every factory today. Mana bizga aytildi. Today, there are hardly any factories to be found where forced assembly line is not being utilized. In tarjimasi, today there are a lot of factories where forced assembly line is being utilized. Okay. And yeah, so our answer for the question for the first question is gonna be this one. C, okay. And then the next one, Henry Ford went bankrupt. Went bankrupt. I mean, that's a nice phrase. That is a nice phrase. So I can say like go bankrupt. Bankrupt. I mean to fail in business. I can say yeah, to fail in a business. So I can make up a sentence when my friends my friend went bankrupt. Went bankrupt. I did my best to help him. So when my friend had a financial difficulty, like when he went bankrupt, we I helped him. So the next one, introduce the mass system, introduce the system of mass production on an assembly line. Made profits of only $295 on his first mass produced car. O'sha faqatgina shuncha summani topgan, birinchi o'zini judayam bir katta capacity ishlab chiqargan mashinasidan. Produced the Model T, Model T ishlab chiqargan, which was the first car ever to build. Birinchi qurilgan mashina ishlab chiqarilgan. Worked in partnership with Daimler-Benz. Ikkalasini partner bilan ishlabdi. Xo'p, bankrot bo'ldi degan haqida bizga informatsiya yo'q. Introduce a system of mass production on an assembly line. Yo'q, u просто foydalangan, u sistemani chiqargan odam German bo'lgan. Made profits of only, bu haqida umuman informatsiya yo'q bizda. Produced the Model T, which was the first ever car to build. Manimcha shu bo'lishi kerak javob. Chunki o'qiganlar to'g'ri kelmaydi. Worked in partnership with Daimler. Bular to'g'ri kelmayapti. Chunki mana internet ketdi-da. Mana. His Model T was the first car to be produced on the assembly line. Shuni javob esa D bo'lyapti. Xo'p, bu yoq ketdi. Yana clear qilib tashlayman. Keyin so'tib ketaman. Okay. Xo'p, the next one. Ford had to seize. The word seize again to stop, okay? Had to stop. I can say okay, prevent, avoid symbol at avoid, prevents shunaqa romanlar keladi. Asosan lekin bu stop ma'nosida ko'rgan. He seized the he seized the plan. Yeah, u plan to'xtatib plan to'xtatdi. Like he stopped the plan. And then the next one, like I'm sorry guys, I have to wear my glasses because my eyes are getting hurt. So I hope you understand. Had to cease the production of the Model T because he had to stop the production of Model T because manufacturing costs had risen uh, to over 1,000. That's not the answer. He could not compete with mass production methods of Daimler Benz. No, that's not the answer. The Model A was being sold at a much lower price. No, they didn't talk about this one. Other manufacturers had copied its design. Yep, I mean that's the answer. The price for more luxurious cars had dropped. So other manufacturers had copied its design. Here it said because other car manufacturers were able to bring down the cost of much more attractive cars because they copied Ford's assembly line. So that was the answer. And we're done with exercise 2 as well. Now let's move on to the exercise 3. I mean, there'll be a lot of vocabulary in the exercise 3, so do be ready. The first one, prices have risen sharply, I think, yeah. Have risen sharply in the last months, and the government is battling to bring the economy under control. So, is battling to bring the economy under control. Is battling. So the word battle means like to make a lot of effort. To make a lot of effort. I can make up a sentence by saying governments, okay, countries around the world are battling to bring air pollution under control. Okay, they are trying really hard to bring the air pollution under control. And then the next one, yep, here we go. Before we start spending money on a new office, perhaps we should see if we can something this way we already have more effectively. Utilize. If we can utilize the space we already have more effectively. Easy sentence. Computers and word processors have become so commonplace. Look at this one. Have become something. Have become so commonplace that these days something is happening. I'm gonna make up a sentence for this one. I can say AI has become so commonplace. So by the way, the word commonplace means like to be common, okay? It's prevalent everywhere. You can find it anywhere. AI has become so commonplace that every students is now using it. Okay, I can make up a sentence in this way. Well, that was actually for the example sports. It means it has become popular. Okay, that's what it basically means. And then the next one, these days the traditional typewriter is virtually obsolete. Yeah. And by the way, the words virtually means not virtualna. It means almost. Okay. The project is virtually impossible to finish. Right? Practically impossible to get done. Okay. Although she's quite a good quite plus AOKN plus now. Okay. Bu very the end. مثلا he's quite an amazing person. Okay, that's what I can say. Or I can say he's quite a strong boy. Okay, he's quite a strong boy. Something. He's very strong boy, it means. So although she's quite a good pianist, something the talent is okay. She lacks the talent necessary. Look at this one, by the way. There is actually what was his name? This grammar's name? Participle clause. It had to be which is necessary. Okay. Although she's quite a good pianist. She lacks the talent which is necessary to make a professional career in music. Okay. Uh, I'm going to leave it here. Just go back to the video and listen to what I just said. Like participle clause. Okay, learn this grammar. I mean, that's such a nice grammar. If you can use it, you will be doing an amazing job. Yeah. So make a professional career in something to be successful. To be successful in your job, I can say. And then he made a professional career in business after the graduation of university. And the next one, we are saving a small amount of money every month, and we hope eventually to have we hope eventually we hope eventually to have enough to buy a car. So yeah, guys, that's what I had for today about the. Let me just. Yep, today about the passage. And I'm going to teach you something new, by the way, to prepare for the passages. Just a second. Remove all of them. Yep, here we go. So, yep, done. Basically, what you're gonna do is gonna be just a second. Taking screenshots. Okay. I don't know if it worked or not. Just a second. Let's check it out. I think it didn't do anything. Okay, maybe it's a better idea to take and copy this one. What I usually do is I just copy or take a screenshot and send it to ChatGPT, you know. Yep, it's working. So, and then I can, copy and paste the exercise as well. Not exercise 3, but not exercise 2, but exercise 3. I'm going to take this one and copy and paste it to the ChatGPT. I'm gonna say, look, create a writing question based writing question and speaking questions based on the text and exercises. Questions have to push me to use vocabulary from them. Again, syllable make them for intermediate students syllable okay. IELTS students syllable وهكذا تخرب الرد الناس okay. أنا مثلا زي تخرب the God let's design one IELTS writing task too. Some people argue that mass production and assembly line systems have improved life by making goods affordable and widely available. Others believe that these systems create problems such as lower quality, lack of individuality, and negative effects on workers. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. Shaqasi bo'ladi. Endi aytsam bo'ladi, agar hero bo'ladigan bo'lsa sizlarga, make them for intermediate students, not that difficult. I said about Aslam. Also, the cars are used to be very expensive. Used to be very expensive, but mass production and the assembly line made them cheap and popular. Do you think mass production is a good thing for people today? Give reasons and examples. Bo'ldi. Vokibradan foydalansa bo'ladi. Speaking questionlar hammasi shu yerda. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Xo'p, buni fan qilib qo'yaman. Bundan keyinchalik foydalansa bo'ladi. Tushunasiz, saqlanib qoldi faqat. Hozir tashlab qo'yaman ham bu yerga. Oppa, here we go. Xuddi shu narsa. Endi har bitta ELS qilgandan keyin man videoni tagida shu narsani qoldiraman. Buni speaking va writing savollarini va u narsa bilan foydalangan holda siz videoni ko'rib ham writingga, ham speakingga, ham vocabularyni oshirgisi bo'ladi bitta vaqt o'zida. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching the video. That is it for our ELS video, and see you all in our next passages.